Hey guys, we're the Queer Cadets. I'm Alex. My preferred pronouns are they, them, theirs.
I'm Sky, and I go by anything.
What we're going to talk to you guys about today are pronouns, what they are and why they're important, and also misgendering, what that is, why it's offensive, and ways around it. And then at the end, we're going to give you guys a little spiel about our pronouns and how we feel about them. So, to start off, pronouns. The ones people are most used to are the binary pronouns of he, him, his, and she, her, hers. And the thing is with this is that it gives an illusion of a gender binary of either male or female. And the problem with that is that a lot of people like us don't feel like we fit in this binary. So there are alternative pronouns. There are gender neutral pronouns such as they, them, theirs, sie, them, zers, and then otherkin. The thing about otherkin is we're not super familiar with all of what that entails, so we don't feel like we can talk about it much, but it does include some of the lists like sprout pronouns and furry pronouns, or like agendered aliens, but like
We don't really know.
Yeah, we don't feel like we're able to talk about that enough, so we're going to focus on gender neutral pronouns out of that list, and also like trans pronouns of he, him, his, and she, her, hers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what comes with pronouns comes misgendering, and so I feel like a lot of people already know what that is, but misgendering is just kind of calling somebody by the wrong gender. So basically, if someone identifies as female and you call them basically anything other than she, her, hers, that would be misgendering.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an important thing to make sure that you try not to do as much as possible, because we actually spent a really long time trying to figure out how to say what's so bad about it. I think in part because it's obvious, I guess, to us and probably to a lot of people. But really, what's so wrong with it is just you're kind of invalidating and disrespecting someone at a really basic level. So you're taking how someone is, and you're taking who they are and who they say they are, and you're just basically just saying no, you're not that, you're this. And a lot of times people aren't, that's not what they're doing when they're misgendering. A lot of times it's just a mistake. It can just, if you're doing it on purpose, which fuck you if you do that.
Basically.
But basically it just makes the person feel invalidated, and that's kind of a awful and uncomfortable feeling.
The thing about being trans is you put in a lot of effort to try and express your gender the way you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of effort, believe it or not, goes into this. It's hard, and it's it's very emotionally, it's a very emotional thing. And when someone misgenders you, not only are they invalidating how you feel and all this effort you put in to try and express your gender in this way, but they're also kind of outing you, and
mm-hmm.
that's a very unappreciated thing.
Yeah.
Especially in public. If a trans person is, for example, let's just say there's a trans guy out in public, and one of his old friends that has known him forever comes up to him and starts misgendering him as she, her, hers. You're out in public, you just outed them, and that's a very hurtful thing, and now it's really hard to kind of unsee that. Once that
mm-hmm.
is out there, it's hard to take back. It's almost impossible, and that's part of what makes it so hard. But that's also part of what makes it so damaging. So a really good way to not misgender someone, when in doubt, use their name. Always use their name. If you have a really hard time with pronouns, try to use their name as much as possible. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't know their pronouns, ask. It can never hurt. We've spent a really long time trying to figure out how to talk about this topic just because there's so much to be said for it. We could talk about this for a very, very long time. But bottom line, if you have a hard time with the correct pronouns, use their name. If you don't know their pronouns, ask. It's way better to ask than to misgender, because misgendering really sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And then, but mistakes happen, and
mm-hmm.
I feel basically most of the time it's never with malicious intent,
Almost never.
It just happens, and so it's important to just say, that's not going to happen again, I'm sorry, and,
If you are going to make a mistake, it is so important to try and correct yourself after making that mistake. And it means so much more to the person if you try to correct that mistake than if you were to just shrug it off and continue with the conversation. Because when that happens, if you were to just shrug it off and act like nothing happened, they know it happened. Like, it's very, you don't forget that, really.
Yeah.
And if you are to try and take that step down and say, hey, I'm sorry, and then correct yourself and carry on, it's so much more beneficial to the relationship and so much more healing when that happens, because it does suck and it does hurt. But recognizing that is also very helpful and beneficial to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, that being said, another thing we wanted to mention was birth names and why it's not really appropriate to ask that question.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of trans people obviously go by a name that's different from the one they were given at birth, and a lot of people can be curious, I guess, to what their birth name is. Just, I don't know, simple curiosity. Not always meant to be mean, but it's important not to ask, or really ask anyone, not even the person, but their friends, if their friends know, just because it's who they are now, who that person is now, and who they say they are now is who they are, and with trans people, that's a very important thing to recognize. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you ask them their birth name, you're kind of just saying hey, remember that one time where your body didn't match who you were and you were forced to live this way, and it was a really painful, unhappy time. Tell me what you were called then. I don't know. It's just it's not
it reopens
something.
A lot of really old and painful wounds that person has usually worked very, very hard to go past.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just something to that I feel we should say you should just be careful not to do that if you're curious. I don't know. I feel like most people do that.
But if they bring it up on their own time, great. But if they don't, don't push it. That's just a very general respectful thing. But a lot of people don't know that. So
yeah.
So our pronouns and how we feel. The way I feel about mine, I'm more particular. I really prefer gender-neutral pronouns, which are they, them, theirs. But Sky and I kind of talked about it, and we both recognize that gender-neutral pronouns are very new to society, and they're very new to the whole, even within the LGBTQIRSP Batman symbol apostrophe brony rainbow dash community, that entire spectrum of people, it's still very new, and part of that reason is because they, them, theirs are seen as plural pronouns rather than neutral. And a lot of people get really stuck up on that. When I came out about my pronouns, that was a big concern that a lot of people had. And we don't really know what to say other than try to not see it as plural and more of a gender-neutral pronoun, because there are people out there like us that prefer them, and they, even though they're just small words used in a sentence and noises we make with our mouths, we prefer those ones.
Yeah.
Preferred pronouns are important to respect.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I just wanted to say that I guess me and Alex are a little different in that I don't know, just I guess from where I am right now with how I feel, I feel very much not 100% female and not 100% male, and so it's nice to have that they, them, theirs pronoun that is neither, and it's a cool thing to have and have people call you by, but I really understand, Alex was saying, it's new and it's strange and it's usually meant for plural things, so it just doesn't seem to fit very well at first with people, but I don't know, so we try and be really forgiving, and I totally get it if you're not used to it and stuff, but it's just and I get that the whole it's just all kind of unfamiliar, but it's just nice to have that kind of pronoun because I have no idea what I am, and I feel it's kind of confusing, and so to just have they, them, theirs is kind of a nice thing, but I also if someone wants to call me she and he, kind of just mix both of those in there, totally fine. So yeah, I don't know. It's just everyone is kind of at a different place. I feel like with that, if they go by them, by they, them, theirs. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's important to just be forgiving and understand that people aren't used to it because, yeah, we're not going to move forward as a society if people are getting really angry.
Yeah.
At people who aren't, I don't know, using they, them, theirs and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for watching our video, guys. We're going to try and put more videos out more frequently, so
Yeah.
if you have any questions for us or any topics in specific that you would like us to cover, like, feel free to either message us or comment them, and we would love to answer them for you guys. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.